Morning, everyone. Welcome to the January 20th meeting. We have a full house, as always good. We are off to a good start. I think we accomplished quite a bit last year. I am excited, as all the commissioners are, in terms of the opportunities that we have going forward. Particularly with some of the financing that we're able to provide to small businesses. I think it's going to be a banner year. We all look forward to how we can assist the city becoming what it will be. Given that, what do I call the word? Yes.
Mr. Mitchell.
Here.
Mr. Barber. Here. Mr. Smith. Ms. Cherry.
Here.
Purple, excuse me. Mr. Harmon. Here. Mr. Moore. Here.
Before we do the minute, we have a new commissioner, Heather Arkleroad.
Road.
Yeah, would you mind taking a few minutes and just tell us a little bit about yourself?
All right. Well, thank you for having me. I'm honored to be on board. I have in the past served as the president of my civic club, Simon Sale, in all capacities. I do have a passion for my community. Simon Sale was where I raised my kids. Been in Portsmouth since 2000. Served the left of the class, graduated in 2003. I just took about a decade break with everything that we did out my from the start and graduated. And get back when it's 14, it was really the passion of community involvement. Happy to be here and see all the development over the years. Here at the Tony Post, seeing an adult now. Development is very important to me. So I work at Provo Builders as an operations manager, been in construction management last 25 years now in development, building, flipping, and investing. For having me, I look forward to a good year.
Good. Well, we're glad to have you on board. And obviously, you're going to bring some good insight to some of our decisions. So, welcome.
Thank you.
And now, our friend who has been with us almost every meeting, now officially has a name at the table. City Councilman Mark Hugel will now be our liaison, and we know what to expect from him, a thorough understanding of what we're doing, but we're excited to have you officially.
Yeah, thanks. The vice mayor has had to pull back, and so flip things around. So I'm delighted to be here in an more official capacity.
Charles,
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to introduce a new member of our staff, Danielle Harrell. Put it right here in the red. Can't remember. She is now our new admin 2 staff team member. She comes with a lot of good experience, especially on the municipal side. So we're pleased to have her, and she's off to a running start, getting us organized again. Thank you, Danielle.
welcome, Danielle.
Thank you.
Given that, I hope that everyone had an opportunity to review the December 16th meeting minutes. There are no revisions. I move for adoption of the minutes.
Second.
Yes, sir. Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Barber, Ms. Smith,
Yeah.
Ms. Cherry, Ms. Road,
Yes.
Purple Road, I'll get it right. Mr. Harmon,
Yes.
Mr. Ward.
Yeah.
As you may have noticed, to my right is not Brian.
He's sick.
Brian is a little under the weather, will not be with us today. And Camille will be has a engagement, and she will have to leave at around 10:30. We have a lot of great presentations this morning that we're all excited about, and we're going to start off with the Portsmouth Vision 2030 strategic plan. Love the way that sounds.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, John Martin, the principal, with SIR based in Richmond, whose firm's been guiding us through our strategic plan process, is here today to offer a brief, an update on the plan and some perspective that I think you'll enjoy.
Clicker.
Yeah.
I think it was loaded up, wasn't it, Charlie, the presentation?
Yeah.
Well, I can bring my laptop up real quick and we can plug in if that's. That's done.
We have.
Go find it. Yes. Oh, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I hope, you got a copy of this in your board packet, but it's a comprehensive plan that we've been working on for about 5 months. And it involved a lot of people in this room. The staff really worked on this together over the course of 5 months, and it really got started with this authority. You guys invited me to share some trends, and it was actually a retreat about 6 months ago, and we talked about the future and what some of the things we need to work on together.
Appreciate everyone's patience. We had to switch devices, so.
I'm not sure, maybe do the fast forward, you just turn it around and I can hit the next button. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, let's go on to the next slide then. So every plan starts with an overall goal, and the goal that we set forth was really how do we drive the economy here, creating jobs and enhancing the overall quality of life of all residents. And I think that's a inspirational goal because it's not just about the economy, but it's the complete picture, making sure that all residents benefit from this. Let's go to the next slide. So as I mentioned, this was a 5 to 6 month process, and it started with this authority at the retreat, but it included all of the classic things you do with a strategic plan for economic development in terms of looking at the industries that are doing well here and the workforce that we need here and looking out into the future, but also the context of how we're operating here. Portsmouth doesn't operate in an economic vacuum. We're part of this whole ecosystem of Hampton Roads. but how does Hampton Roads perform relative to the country? So we did a deep dive in that for the contacts. And then we did a lot of work with the different programs that the EDA has in place right now to see which ones were relevant, which ones needed to be fine-tuned and moving forward. And then arrived at strategic goals and a pathway and this plan. And I believe, Charlie, this plan was presented, a brief version of it to City Council at the City Council retreat. And so not a long presentation, but just an overview. So let's go to the next slide. One more. So I'm going to give you a quick introduction to this thing. I need to stress this point that the economic challenges here are very real. And I know you guys know this, but it's important to have this context. You know, we are not growing our jobs in Portsmouth and haven't for the last 10 years. Our industry is sort of stalled, if you will, and there are a lot of pressures. We talk about shipbuilding, but we lack a lot of the workforce to get it done. And on top of that, this diversity, we really have focused on shipbuilding for a long time, but on the surface level, we haven't gone very deep in the supply chain of shipbuilding. And our region really lags way behind peer or comparative cities. And so we're going to go into detail on all of these, because it's really important to understand this context. So the second thing I want as just an opening is that we really have this bold leadership in place now. And I can tell you just from looking from the outside in, I'm seeing a huge change in the leadership of Portsmouth. And I think it's really exciting with the new mayor and city council. You guys have developed a mission, and in the mission statement, it says promoting economic growth. And you have a clear vision that includes being innovative. And that is so important. It means we're just not going to rest on our laurels. We're going to try to move forward and do it in a harmonious way. So getting inspiration from the city's founding or documents was really important here. And we had the city manager come to many of our planning meetings to encourage us that we were moving in the right direction. And the third thing is there seems to be some traction right now. And I think at the last State of the City address, this was brought out very eloquently. But there have been some major things that have happened in terms of new investment coming here, new businesses established, 742. I spent some time with this authority and understanding the big three developments and the plans you have in place there. And those are really profound in terms of the symbolism for for Portsmouth, but what it's actually going to do for this economy. And then the shipbuilding and defense industries are starting to invest here more. The casino's gotten off to a great start with the new hotel announced, and then 1,000 new homes underway. So I don't want to be negative about setting this context, because we do see some momentum and we do see this new leadership in place. So I think we're just ripe for potential, but I do need to set the context a little bit more. And so this is a recap of the situation that we face. And when I go through this real fast, you have these slides, but don't hesitate to ask any questions. I want to just share with you what Virginia looks like over the past 20 years in terms of our employment growth. And we're in the orange line. All the trends above us are the other southeastern states, that they really are outperforming us in employment growth over the last 20 years. Keep going. And then looking at Hampton Roads, compared to all these other regions, these are comparative regions from Austin, Charleston, Charlotte, Columbia, Denver, Greenville, Jacksonville, Nashville, Orlando, Raleigh. These are the hot areas in the country that are growing. And you can see what our employment growth looks like, the percentage growth compared to those comparative regions. So we're just behind. And this is looking at employment. And Portsmouth over the last 10 years really has been losing jobs. And so not a good story, but it's important to have this context for our vision and where we want to go. So let's keep going. Now I'm going to switch over to the other classic measure. You got to have talent here and the jobs here in order to get your economy going. And that's usually measured by gross domestic product, or GDP. So look at Virginia. Yeah, really best year ever in terms of the economy growing. In terms of the actual size of the economy, GDP, Florida is much bigger. And so every economy grows slightly every year. But the real measure is our relative growth year over year. And you can see that Virginia, since 2014, now lags all the southeastern states. So we got to do something different. And I always tell people, look at the cranes. literally the cranes that are building things, not necessarily repairing ships. But if you go into Orlando or Nashville or Raleigh or just look around and you see the cranes everywhere building new buildings. And that's a really good, I think, metaphor. And so I think about that, even with my hometown of Richmond. When we look at Richmond on some of these numbers, we're not that strong. So we're lagging behind the Southeast states, but now let's go and look at this region, and Hampton Roads compared to all these other competitive regions really lagging in that GDP growth. So I need y'all to understand this plan that we put together. It's a Portsmouth-centric plan, but it sits in the middle of Hampton Roads, and it sits in the middle of Virginia. And we don't have a strong story of tailwinds on that sort of environment. So keep going. And now we'll get right to looking at Portsmouth's annual GDP growth and all the other jurisdictions here. And we're lagging behind in terms of the growth of our economy. And we looked at this pre-COVID and then post-COVID. And the story is not getting better in terms of the average annual growth. The one chart on the right is 2021 to 2023. And now the new data is going to come out in February, so we'll be able to update these slides. And then comparing Portsmouth to Hampton Roads in green, you can see that we're just trailing. And so I don't mean to bum you out, but I just wanted you to see this to understand we've got to double down. And that's what this plan's about. How do we move faster together and maybe do some things a little bit different? So the conclusion is we have this stark choice: remain stagnant or leverage our unique assets, maybe do things some slightly different ways, but go faster, compete harder. And that's what this strategic plan's about. So that's the background. You still with me? Okay. Did y'all know all of this? Yeah. You had a good idea about this? Okay. All right. So let's move forward and change this trajectory. And it starts with understanding our industries and where do we want to play? What can we really leverage? And so it's like taking, I guess, coals to Newport in terms of saying shipbuilding is it. But when you look at LQs, and LQs is a term in economic development analyses where you look at the concentration of an industry relative to, say, the US or relative to, say, 10 other cities you're competing against. The higher the LQ, the more you have a higher concentration of those kind of industries in your locality. And that's what site selectors look at, because they want to know, well, if I come and bring my X company to an industry, I want to know that there are other industry players there, that they're doing well, because LQ says there's a concentration here, so the conditions must be favorable, including workforce, because you want to know that you're going to have enough workers, there are going to be enough people there. So when we look at the industries using LQ, go back one, please. We see shipbuilding, which is manufacturing, as number one with an LQ, go back, please go back one, targeted of 6.48, 6.5. That is exceptional because there are only a handful of places that build ships, but this is a concentration. And I think related to that, we see high LQs in defense and logistics. And so when we looked at this, we said, you know, this is the industry. But are we really maximizing it the most? Are we really bringing the supply chain here is a question. So as we look deeper, we didn't see that. What we did see was healthcare. Over a 1 is good. You want to be like at a 1.25 to have a real advantage. But this is a targeted industry that we weren't thinking about before this analysis. That we do have a higher concentration than other places around Hampton Roads when it comes to healthcare. And so is that an industry that we can really intentionally try to recruit and try to bring the healthcare leaders here to see what we have offering here? And I think the answer in this plan was yes, let's try to do that. So that gives you a sense of the targeted clusters. And there's an entire report as part of the plan that goes deep into all of these. But I wanted to give you that 30,000 foot look. But the other side of the coin is workforce. So that's the next chart. And again, there's a whole study as part of the development plan, economic development plan, that goes into this workforce analysis. And here we look at the top 6 industries combined in Portsmouth. And again, at the top is manufacturing, shipbuilding, but it includes healthcare and social assistance, almost 8,000 workers. So this is an industry that we just maybe weren't thinking about as a real opportunity to grow. and then public administration, retail trade, and accommodation and food services. Now, there are a couple of points I want to make on this eye chart, if you will. Number one, when you look out with this Bureau of Labor data and you project out for 10 years, the projection on total employment is still based on those trend lines, which aren't positive. So it's saying we're not going to grow. We're going to have 1,000 less employees in 10 years. We have to change that. Another thing that's sort of interesting is that you've got to constantly be in the economic development, workforce development, and training business. And here's why. When you look at any one of these categories, you see something called exits, which is retirements, transfers, which is I just don't like this career, I'm going to move to another category. And then you see employment growth because you're growing. Well, the shipbuilding business it's projected to be about flat in terms of employment. But when you start to add all this up in terms of exits, transfers, and employment growth across your top 6 industries, we're going to need 50,000 more workers. It's nonstop. You've got to keep training. And so I think something for us is we want them to be here. We want to train them and educate them and show them the best of Portsmouth and try to have them here to help grow our population. So that's just another insight from all of our plans. And again, there's a whole report on this workforce analysis. So that, yes, sir.
So the workforce analysis, is that workers who work for businesses in Portsmouth, or is that
Jobs.
people who live in Portsmouth and work in that industry?
Right, the latter.
So somebody that lives in Portsmouth and works at Newport News Shipbuilding
It's based on
counted
jobs.
as
Yeah.
a person. Okay,
Right.
got it. Thanks.
Right. And that's why we just need to get more people here to live here
Yeah.
on that. Okay. Yeah.
The healthcare sector, does that include the naval hospital?
I do not believe so, but I can confirm that. I do not believe so. But it does confirm, one of the things we talked about a lot was mental health care, and that was a big number as part of that. But we're trying to think about all sectors in healthcare.
That's sort of related to Councilman Huebel's question, but the person, the workforce that lives here and is also employed here versus lives here and goes somewhere else to work and vice versa. To what degree do we take into account for Hampton Roads that so many people live in a different city than they work and how that affects us and that workforce that is available to us to pull from and bring into the city for this job?
Right. These numbers really, I'm not sure I can show you and break it down by jurisdiction, but these numbers really reflect the jobs that are here, not necessarily people that live here. Okay. So our goals, after looking through all of this information and doing a SWOT analysis and saying, where do we need to go? We came up with these goals. And so here they are: grow our leading industry, shipbuilding, defense, resiliency through innovation and through cultivating the supply chain to actually be here, to be members of the supply chain, make it very robust in terms of this category. Diversify the economy, grow opportunity segments like we're talking about with healthcare, retain and expand Portsmouth's existing employers. That's business retention efforts. We got to keep doing that, and that's becoming more and more important. Build our future-ready for workforce, deliver on Portsmouth's big 3 developments, and that's what we talked about in our retreat with you, the Link District and the Entertainment District and the waterfront. And fuel small business and startup success. Let's really understand the shipbuilding supply chain, and let's focus our new business and our small business and entrepreneurial efforts to see if we can seed companies that can participate in that as well. And lastly, let's elevate the Portsmouth Economic Development into a world-class EDO. There are a number of positions that have been recently replaced, and let's try to think about this organization, all that it can be, and how it can tap into AI and use that, and how it can become much more of an outreach organization as well, actually going after companies directly. So these were the 7 goals that we came up with that really structured the plan around these to try to address these. So here's the strategic framework that we came up with. Go to the next slide. So it's really four pillars overall. The first one is double down on advanced manufacturing and really cultivate that supply chain. So it's shipbuilding and defense. That is your core industry. Number two, deliver on the big three developments as a catalyst for growth, renewal, and also pride building and brand building. This is the new Portsmouth. Strategic pillar number three, identify, accelerate tomorrow's growth clusters. And we just mentioned healthcare, but we feel like this plan should go deeper and identify a few others as additional work in the future. And then strategic pillar number four is leverage our regional technology leadership infrastructure and this infrastructure, innovation, and talent. And I'm going to get into details of all four of these, but this last one is really tied to the other ones. How can we really use innovation? How can we really use the technology to advance us and accomplish all of those goals? So pillar one, double down on shipbuilding and defense. And this is really our core legacy industry, but how can we think about it differently and be more intentional and proactive in building it out? One of the things that we have found across the country is that hubs are the key to economic success in a category, becoming a recognized hub. And what that usually takes is for the leaders of the hub, the leaders in the industries, the CEOs to come together and meet on a regular basis to tie to local universities and to tie your whole talent development pipeline all together in an industry-led plan. And that's what we've seen across the country. I see it in Richmond with Petersburg becoming a national hub in bio-life sciences. And it's because of some inventions that happened at VCU, and it's all concentrated in Petersburg with a couple of companies. But the most important thing that's happened is this proactive, almost like an association of the leaders associated with that hub. And that's what I'm talking about here with shipbuilding. So when I look across the country at the innovation hubs in shipbuilding, there's just not that many places that build ships. You got to have infrastructure and you got to be next to the water. But you look at what each one of them are doing, and we have much more details in the plan, and you think about their innovation claim, and there it's a wide open field for us to really hone what we're about, not only in Portsmouth, but the whole Hampton Roads region in terms of our advanced shipbuilding approach and also our nuclear systems. We have a story here that's unique to some of the other shipyards, and we need to be packaging it and leaning into it. We have all these partners here, and I've got this poster. We made sure that our plan really aligned to the Alliance's plan. And the Alliance just had a big event at Virginia Beach where they unveiled they called it their game plan, their playbook. And so these posters are up on the counter, but it really shows how they're trying to pull together a lot of the categories, doing the LQ analysis themselves, but how they're going after. And one of them is shipbuilding. And one of them with shipbuilding really looks at all these different players that are in the market and how can we coalesce them into an organized, unified approach. And so that when we saw that, we were already going down this path and we said, this is terrific because we've got to make sure that we have our own sort of sub-chapter of this kind of work with Portsmouth companies and Portsmouth assets, but really leverage the work that the region's doing in this area with unmanned systems as well as traditional shipbuilding. So please take a copy of one of these when you leave and get a sense of this. But we want you to know that our plan really aligns to what the region's trying to do as well. So double down, create this shipbuilding roundtable, and really this got started right as we started to do the plan. There was a first meeting of this group, and we really, in part of this plan, want to fully actualize that into an ongoing roundtable and to have it with the highest ranking people that we can have to really have like a micro plan just for the shipbuilding and the supply chain recruitment. In terms of the supply chain companies, we put together a list of all of the companies that are involved in building subs in Virginia. And it's a long list. And we want to do the same for ships, but to have those as targeted companies that we can recruit. And you guys haven't really done this in a long time, but go after in a methodical way those leads and those relationships and reach out. I know the Alliance has a lot of work that it does with recruitment, but complement that with your own outreach. Charlie, do you want to comment on that, or is that accurate?
Well, first of all, I think the biggest thing is that we stated that we hadn't had a economic strategic plan in a long time. And this provides that exactly. So it gives the team an opportunity to, move forward in a methodical way to try to capture some of these opportunities. When you're talking about the roundtables, we have had a couple of engagements with industry leaders here already and have provided a wealth of information as to, hey, you guys ought to be talking to this company, or, hey, I know a cousin that has a company out in San Diego, could maybe come to the East Coast, those kinds of dialogues. So that's very productive engagement.
So really, with that roundtable and their identification of prospects on top of the coal prospects that we're putting together, then really go after them and show them Portsmouth and invite them to come here and see. And so that proactive outreach is a new element to this organization. Right. And then ramping up workforce recruitment and training, but doing it in a way that really pays off what that roundtable's calling for. Make sure that our ecosystems align to their needs. And then entrepreneurial and small business development supports that shipbuilding industry too. So really, when I say double down on shipbuilding, it's going deep on shipbuilding and the supply chain and trying to bring even more companies to this region that in an area that you really have the right to play. Okay.
So Neil had a question.
Yes.
Teresa, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question. I think we all recognize that one of our balances is workforce development, that to attract companies. One of the things I guess I noticed in Greenville, when they talked about workforce development, they actually kind of put that in play to bring the companies here in a regional approach. And my question to you on the region, what do we put it in place to get this workforce here in the Hampton Roads area? I mean, it's not just Portsmouth, it has to be a regional thing.
And that is the Hampton Roads Workforce Council is doing that. And it has a number of different programs to help support shipbuilding. And so what we're suggesting through this plan is that we just double down on that. And with those employers, those shipbuilder employers here in Portsmouth, that we pay extra special attention to their needs and really sort of overlay on top of what the region's doing.
So when you say double down, what are you exactly saying? So double down in your relationship with your universities, you double down, what are you saying?
Well, our work with workforce development is there. People try to solve for general skills and training. And then when you talk to the CEOs of companies, they're asking for something slightly different, or they have a different expectation. And so what we're saying is, let's make sure we understand that expectation of Portsmouth employers and to make sure that the workforce system is honed to really deliver on that. So let's get that extra intelligence and go that extra mile to really deliver the workers that can be hired and are qualified immediately. So and then the other thing is really trying to make sure that those workforce training programs that come in and serve our market, that we have some control over that curriculum, that we're actually, through our research and understanding what our employers need, making sure that the curriculum that is being used to train workers for us is appropriate. So we don't do all the training, but we should have our fingerprints on all the curriculum or most of the curriculum. And that's what we're talking about. So just getting much, much more intentional about the workforce development and training. And we now have staff here expert in doing that and putting those programs together. We can't train everybody. We have to have the partners, but we got to make sure our partners are really training what we know our employers need, in particular in those categories that are getting more and more technical, like shipping. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Part of bringing, supply chain employers is a location.
Right.
There. Have you done any analysis as to the physical requirements of the supply chain industries generally and how do
And
we
that,
compare?
that is a challenge here in Portsmouth. There are a couple of pieces of property that I know y'all are working on that are big, that could be game changing. But I also think there's something in place here that hasn't been used, very often, which is a revenue sharing agreement. Which is if you locate somewhere, but we brought the prospect in, then we get to split the revenue. I'm making it so simple here, but that exists. And what we talked about, this limitation that we don't have huge tracts of land. But some of the suppliers don't need to have every single worker here. They could just come here. I think Virginia Beach has a really big defense industry, but a lot of it is not the actual manufacturing. And so if we can find our way through partnerships, and if we can attract the supply chain, and they can't find a particular location here, but they can in Chesapeake or somewhere, let's share that revenue because we brought them here. And that's a new thing for Portsmouth. It's a new thing that's part of this plan of being intentional and having direct outreach. And not replacing the alliance, but certainly complementing them.
One of the struggles I found with a lot of these initiatives is the actual measurement. So as I look at that pillar, how do you transfer that into a measurement? So point number one, a roundtable must be conducted within 2 quarters.
Yes.
Point number two, we must reach out and contact X amount of supply chain companies.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have a measurement, that we can come back and
Yes.
talk about how successful you were or not successful, or why not.
Couldn't agree more.
We're not able to really track the success of some of these initiatives.
Then we've taken an attempt at that. In the last slide, you'll see 100 KPIs and tried to align them to the staff here. So everybody owns some of these deliverables. You're exactly right. What gets measured happens. Okay, so that's number one.
So we've titled this pillar shipbuilding. But there's a whole other industry, ship repair,
Right.
that is not shipbuilding. Have you included ship repair in this pillar?
We should probably rename
Yeah,
it.
because we have one of 4
Right.
premier share facilities here, 10,000 civil servants, but the 10,000 civil servants have probably 20,000 private sector contractors that are in the shipyard on any given day, working side by side, and those industries are not shipbuilding suppliers, they're ship repair suppliers.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's call it shipbuilding repair. It's called in the SIC codes advanced manufacturing.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's a misnomer for who we are.
That was the intent of that pillar.
Yeah,
So we're-
Yeah, because going back to the round table, most of the people that were in the round table were dabbling in shipbuilding, but were big time in ship repair.
Yeah,
That's the core.
that's a great insight.
It's a, it's just,
I just have one comment. I actually work at Norfolk Naval Shipyard. And so, we went down to Danville and visited their advanced manufacturing center down there. I don't know if you've heard about
We
it.
helped them.
Okay, you do? Okay, yeah, so it's an incredible opportunity for young folks coming out of school. It's free room board. And they learn all the trades they need to go and work and support the submarine industrial base. Excuse me. And so I don't know if there's any opportunity to bring something like that here, but that would be huge for our particular area because we do have shipyard.
And so, Matt, we're actually doing that. The Hampton Roads Workforce Council study what's going on in Danville.
Okay.
Danville's focused on welding, machining, and I'll call it quality assurance. So measure. The Workforce Council is collaborating with ODU and with Tidewater Community College, Virginia Peninsula Community College, and Halsey Camp to bring the ATDM program that does that in Danville but to bring it here, I'll say on steroids. So beyond the 3 trade skills that are being developed in Danville, to include surface prep coatings, electrical, sheet metal. I mean, so the broader list of trade skills that are needed in both shipbuilding and in ship repair. The Workforce Council is the group that represents Hampton Roads to the Navy. The Navy, as you know, is investing billions of dollars in workforce development across the country. So the Workforce Council is kind of the honest broker, if you will, to have the Navy send some of that billions of dollars here and to target it to this various collection of workforce development efforts in the community colleges, in the ECPI kind of colleges, and then also in places like Mills, Marine, where they're doing their kind of their own workforce development apprenticeship program.
Okay. Yep. Good. All right, well, let's move on to pillar number 2. And this is the big 3 as a catalyst for growth and renewal and pride. And I'm, in the interest of time, not going to go deep into this because I know you guys are really up to speed on the plans and the schedules that are put in place for, going after the entertainment district and the Link Innovation District and the waterfront development. So let's move really fast through here. But we really think that this is these 3 projects bundled together as a package is really going to show the new Portsmouth to everybody. It's really fantastic what y'all have put together. So this plan needed to incorporate that work. And the plan has details on each one of these that I think a lot of it came out of the work that you guys have been doing in this group. So let's keep going. One part about this that we did feel like that in economic development, now it's more than just business retention, expansion, and recruitment, but it really is getting into quality of life and community development. And so while the economic development department isn't in charge of community development, it has a vested interest in that being successful. So as part of this plan, we talked about elevating needs to have that more global perspective. So if you're talking about a parking garage downtown, you got to think about the bigger picture of parking downtown. And so we really have encouraged, and Brian has put his arms around this idea of being in more departmental meetings, and it's been supported by the mayor to really cross-pollinate and have this bigger picture perspective. And so that's what we think is really important, to coordinate with city departments, engage the city council and city leaderships to really take the updates on these 3 projects and make them spokespeople for it and really know on the latest that's going on, and celebrating and collaborating with city communications department to really showcase to residents the progress that we're making in all these 3 areas and to show that it's really benefiting the entire city. Okay. Go forward. Number 3 is identify and accelerate tomorrow's growth sectors. And this is to diversify Portsmouth and fuel that long-term resilience. And so on the next slide, we really talk about this in terms of forming these industry roundtables, more than shipbuilding and repair, but in healthcare. Let's really set up one in healthcare and talk about where do we want to go? What does our current healthcare industry look like? What are those jobs we need to fill? Well, what is that opportunity? And really have a micro industry plan, if you will, to develop healthcare here. And then go deep into research and look at a couple of other emerging possibilities modeled after these 2 roundtables that we really want to invest in, the shipbuilding and repair roundtable and the healthcare roundtable. And then number 4 is really making Portsmouth one of the, if not the, one of the region's technology leaders with innovation and talent development. Every single job today has the need to have some digital skills. I could give you dozens and dozens of examples. It's not just the high-end researchers. Everybody needs to understand how to push buttons and make things work that have been digitized. And now with AI coming and agentic AI, it's going to be everywhere. It's going to be ubiquitous. So we've got to play in that space. So we want to make Portsmouth one of the regional leaders, and you guys have already made a huge step with a broadband authority. So that gives you funding ability, but you also are on the network wing. And with the South Side Network Authority, now I think one day it'll be the Hampton Roads Network Authority, but really being able to maximize that and thinking about a strategy in terms of your infrastructure that goes beyond what we see across the country as sort of a base infrastructure, digital infrastructure strategy, where you leave it 100% up to the private sector. And consequently, you don't have every single neighborhood with the latest fiber optics availability. But the second, the vast majority of jurisdictions do that. But there's another rung, there's another layer, if you will, and that's becoming really access oriented, supportive of those providers of the private sector. And that's putting in things like an authority, which all have done, or a middle mile backbone, which SMA is trying to do, and really trying to be there as partners to make it work and to fill out your digital infrastructure. When I say digital infrastructure, it's more than just the fiber networks going to the homes, but it's getting the meet-me rooms and internet exchanges that link those networks together, that allow those big content providers to say, we want to put our content locally and not have to pipe it in constantly from Atlanta or Northern Virginia. And data centers, they're coming here. They have really come down from Northern Virginia to the Richmond region, but they're soon going to start looking this way, looking east. And so being ready for them. And all of this, when I think about the subsea cables that will eventually be tied into the network ring, all of that is digital infrastructure. And you guys just happen to be sitting at the intersection of a lot of it right now. And so how do you put together a plan that leverages this and positions you as one of the technology leaders as part of this plan? How do we do this? And one way to think about it is to think about it in terms of what a few cities do, which is to satisfy or support your anchor institutions, which are mission critical in terms of the defense industry, in terms of shipbuilding. And so that's really the opportunity here in this pillar. How do we go and think about our digital infrastructure in a proactive way and pulling together the work of SNA, get them here, get your authority together, get everybody working on a digital infrastructure plan that really positions you as one of the leaders in this area, because that's what companies now are starting to look at and ask for. Well, what does your digital infrastructure look like? And you guys have a story, we just need to package it. We need to package it and put it on steroids. And again, you have a running start at this already. But it also takes training workers in this way. And so part of the training needs to be digital literacy. And a lot of folks still, a lot of the people that you're training don't have computers. And so we need to get computers in their hands. So it's a multifaceted approach, but it's so important to the future of shipbuilding, the future of all industries and workers, that we really made it a pillar so we could really focus on it and have KPIs around it. So let's go forward another one. Frozen up. All right. It's so important that we want to leave it up for a while for you to see the full impact. Well, there are only a few slides left, and I know what they are, and I can just share that. Okay, good. Well, back to the chairman's insight, the accountability is so important in this plan. You now have a plan, but you got to make sure it gets implemented and that it delivers results. And so one of the things that we do is put together a big spreadsheet on all these initiatives and help with a monthly meeting that says, are we doing this? Are we doing that? Are we delivering this? And so we have worked through, on the next slide, a lot of KPIs that go around every one of these pillars assigned to a staff person. And so that's the kind of work that we want to hold people accountable to. So we can implement this plan and come back year after year and saying, we're making a difference. We're attracting supply chain companies. We're training X number of workers. This is the agendas and the deliverables from those roundtables. And so this plan has very concrete steps. It's just not aspirational, it's practical. but it's also requiring a lot of hard work and a lot of discipline work, and those KPIs are going to hold us accountable. So that's basically it. And I think the great thing that can happen, and I get to do strategic plans for a lot of counties, regions. We run two mega regions. One is Richmond, Hampton Roads, and the other one is out in the western part of the state. It's Danville and Martinsville, and, Roanoke and Blacksburg all together as a mega region. And one of the things that when we see in doing these plans is the power of it bringing people together. And that's what this plan did. We had at least a half dozen staff meetings for half a day, and everybody put together their own plan and was critiqued by the whole staff. And really, everybody was working with one another to say, no, that needs more accountability, or this needs a clear goal. And that work, I think, brought this EDA together in a new way and with a new vision on what its impact can be, and a new understanding that now, if ever there was a time, it's now. Because of where we are, where we operate, with all those slides that I shared with you at the beginning of the presentation. We got to go fast, and we got to trust each other, and we've got to make sure that all the organizations the city is set up in economic development are working together. And I feel like that's what this plan does more than anything. It articulates all those players, and it's like the last page of your deck, but it shows the integration of the whole ecosystem and how everybody has a role. And we can only make this work. We all work together. So that's what we try to do with this plan. Charlie, what have I missed?
You've covered it all. I mean, now comes time to implement, and that's what this team is working toward.
There's so many questions for you. I always thought, but if you took a city that was similar to Portsmouth, and you could, that's having an increasing growth rate, population, what's different? Yeah, what can we take? What can we take? Or is there in the city?
Well, I think there are a lot of similarities to Petersburg. And I say that because Petersburg was going nowhere. It didn't have a plan, losing population, no hope. People in Richmond didn't care about it. People with money. And then Petersburg got it together. And this whole bio life sciences, maybe you guys invite me to come back and I'll do 10 minutes on Petersburg for you. But it's been transformed. And even the past governor adopted it in the healthcare institutions to invest in Petersburg and put in clinics and facilities and just said, you got to do it. And they really have pulled all the companies together to really own Petersburg in a positive way, not literally, but let's all work together to make it happen. And then this bio life sciences thing has gotten $500 million in the federal government because it went and asked for it the right way. And it's just phenomenal what they're doing, transforming how drugs are made on our planet. A system that's like two sizes of this desk, like a copy machine, can actually manufacture any drug. And the idea of moving drug manufacturing back to the U.S. came out of this patent, slow technology, invented at VCU, but then placed in a company, a startup company with all this funding in Petersburg. And now other companies coming like Civica. First one I just mentioned was Flow. Civica is now there because they are producing generic insulin and selling it at a third of the price. And it's just, so there's story after story, but the real story is this council that got put together, this association of CEOs and the top leaders, and city councils represented, but they just doubled down. So I feel like that's where Portsmouth is now. You actually have a lot more than Petersburg did in terms of going for you. But I feel like that's the story. And I can give you a similar story in Utah in terms of the bio life sciences, but it gets back to this roundtable idea of ownership at the highest level to have a vested interest in where we're going. And so we can come back to you and share many of those other city stories like that, but it's just starting to be crystal clear to me that that's the formula for success today. Don't just leave it up to individual silos to try to do their best. You got to bring the intentionality right together.
agree. And the other added advantage that we have is that we have a lot of political clout.
Yeah.
Portsmouth. Then we're able to leverage that at the state level.
That's right. The packaging that with the pass is, yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Do any of the KPIs align with direct communication with our education system?
Yes,
Like I
the
follow
training in particular.
Okay, because the biggest thing, I think there's a large disconnect between a public education system, what we're doing, education for the city side in terms of we have a plan, but does our PPS know the plan?
Right.
And in terms of alignment with the curriculum, I know for sure with working with PPS, that we have a curriculum,
Yeah.
but have they have direct communication between that? There's a PACE Center, there's TDC, there's all these different, avenues for job growth and job training. But do the kids know?
That's right.
Do the higher ups know? And I think that's a disconnect because we can talk all day about this plan, but it starts with the youth. We already have a workforce here, to which is very transient. Everyone doesn't work in Portsmouth and doesn't live in Portsmouth, but we have in-house people that are actually in the school system. And it doesn't start with high school, it actually begins with middle school.
Yes.
We start with, even with performing arts, we don't start in high school. We start them in middle school with getting them the talks and getting them on the track where they want to go after high school. CTE should be having talks in middle school with job training and people for economic development and other city agencies there at the table to guide our students and our PPS admin to kind of get that ball rolling. So we're not just having these roundtables without all entities present.
I could not agree more, and you are just making the perfect exclamation point for this presentation. It's what you're talking about is connected tissue. It's like getting everybody connected and understanding, and looking for those points of leverage. And that's what has to happen here. And this plan, we hope, becomes that metaphor. That it's held up by city council. I know that the city manager is showing it to all the other department heads and saying, what I love about this is it cross pollinates. And that's what we have to do here. That's the opportunity.
You make a good point, Joe. I mean, one of the things the city council recognized at our fall retreat, and John was our facilitator for that effort, we should have had PPS in the room with us. We didn't. So the work that we did to build the city strategic pillars that include the economic development effort, missed the opportunity to involve PPS, missed the opportunity to involve the Commissioner of the Revenue, missed the opportunity to involve the treasurer, Commonwealth Attorney, Sheriff, the constitutional officers. And so we're going to plug that gap in February with a one-day retreat between City Council and PPS leadership to come back and revisit the educational piece of the city's strategic pillars. The city council and the city staff came up with a list of what we would like to see on the education side. Now we need to connect with PPS and all be pulling in the same direction. And hopefully that retreat will allow us to get that alignment.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Good discussion. Thank you, John. Up next is Mr. Diggs. He's going to talk about the Wall Street Mule Fest.
Good morning, everybody. How you doing?
Morning.
Matt Diggs, you heard me mention, I do work at North Mill Shipyard. It's my day job. I'm the shipyard procurement and maintenance division head there. But outside of work, I enjoy the arts and I'm on the board with Support for some Public Art. And we've really enjoyed putting together this mural festival the last couple of years. And I have Gene with me here today. Let's introduce yourself.
Oh, thanks, Matt. I know many of you in the room, but for those of you who don't know me, my name is Gene Granger. Most of you who do know me as the managing director of the Incu Hub, which is one of our co-working spaces for business owners and entrepreneurs here in Portsmouth. But I'm also a Portsmouth resident and I'm very active in the community. And one of the ways that I like to give back to the community is I serve on the board of directors of Support Portsmouth Public Art. So Matt and I are here today to share with you the plans for the Wall Street Mural Festival 3. This will be our third year. And an ask that we have of the EDA to help us make that event a really big success. Again, our slides pulled up here.
So first off, we do want to thank you all for your support. Last year was incredible. We were able to pull off so much stuff last year, and we have so much more planned for this year coming up. We've gotten more into what we're calling a Portsmouth Art Week, and so it's going to be a whole week of festivities coming up, leading up to Wall Street River Festival. We'll get into that here in a little bit.
Yeah. We can go to, oh,
Has everyone seen the murals in the Link District? Everyone here? Yeah, okay. All right, very good.
so yeah, awesome.
It's when I say it was a dream come true to be part of that festival, it truly was. I've been across the country going to different artists, big cities with art involvement, and seeing all these different festivals and being able to do that here in Portsmouth is super rewarding. All right, so you go.
All right, so just a little background on Support Portsmouth Public Art. For those of you who don't know, we are a local nonprofit organization. We were founded in 2010, so we've been here for over 15 years. And what's really important and I think really special about our organization is we are entirely run by volunteers. So as you know, a lot of nonprofit organizations have a staff, an executive director. All of the work that we do is solely from the volunteers of our board members of people in the community. That means a couple things. One, it means all of the funds that we raise, instead of going to pay staff, can go directly back into the community, into art projects and our events and activities. But it all, those of us who get involved and serve on the board and volunteer in other capacities are extremely passionate about Portsmouth and extremely passionate about making Portsmouth the best place in Hampton Roads and indeed the best place in America. I also want to acknowledge two of our board members who are here today, Don Richardson and Jim Cullen, who do a lot of great work for SPPA. And our mission is to create public art and educate citizens on art within the city of Portsmouth. To date, we have installed about 147 pieces of public art throughout the city. And if you drive up and down High Street or other parts of the city, you can see a lot of that artwork. It's a really nice thing for people to enjoy when they travel through Portsmouth. Next slide. Awesome. So just a little recap of the history of the Wall Street Mural Festival. So the Wall Street Mural Festival actually started in 2024, 2 years ago. Initially, the idea was just to have a display of murals on Wall Street. Those of you not familiar with Wall Street, it's actually an alleyway between High and Queen Street on the south and north, and between Hatton Street and Chestnut Street on the west and east, right in the heart of the Lake District. And in formulating this project, Matt and some other board members said, well, instead of just having murals painted, why don't we turn it into an event and make it a festival? That's kind of what started it. And I think it's fair to say that in 2024, we went into it with relatively modest expectations. And the inaugural event far exceeded anybody's expectations in terms of attendance, in terms of support, the murals, just the entire event was really amazing. So based on that, there was no question that this was going to become an annual event that we would continue. So that brought us to last year. Wall Street Mural Festival 2, which was even bigger and more successful than the first one. We got 194 applications from artists all over the world to paint murals. And from there, we narrowed it down to just a select group of artists who ended up painting the murals on Wall Street. We became an international mural festival. So in addition to having artists from all over the United States, we had an artist from Germany, artists from the UK, artists from the Philippines come to Portsmouth to paint murals on our buildings, which is really amazing if you think about it. We added 11 new permanent murals, which you can still go down to Wall Street and enjoy today. We had 2,200 attendees. And I honestly think maybe that number is even a little modest. I think we might have had a little more, but thousands of people coming out from all over Portsmouth, all over Hampton Roads, and even beyond to enjoy the murals and enjoy the activities. We had 40 vendors, 4 food trucks. We also took it outside of Wall Street this year, so we did an off-site gallery at a Cure Coffee House on High Street. We were able to display some additional art. We did 3 art lectures in the schools, so get the youth, the high school students involved in what was going on. We added a fashion show, a pop-up skate park. The first mural festival had a breakdancing competition. We expanded it last year. We had a battle of the wall between the Navy versus the Coast Guard. It was widely publicized throughout the media, news stations, print media. So it became a very well-known thing, and it was something that really made Portsmouth shine, really showed off the wonderful community that we have. And the next slides just go through some of the examples of some of the murals from last year. Kind of step out of the way a little bit so you can see. You can just kind of run through them.
As you can see the different locations that they're coming from.
Yeah, yeah, Germany. Really beautiful pieces of art, and really, really unique and different each one, which makes it all the more special. And as we're looking at these, the other comment I will make about, to me, what is so special about this event is that you literally have people from all different parts of Portsmouth, whether it be Old Town or Craddock or Churchland or Brighton or Truxton, and all over Hampton Roads from all different backgrounds, all ages, all walks of life, just coming together to enjoy a wonderful community event. And Chief Jenkins and I were talking about this at the last festival, where he just remarked like, wow, everyone in Portsmouth is just enjoying themselves, so having a great time. And I will add, all of the people who come in from outside of Portsmouth to participate in the festival aren't just stopping at Wall Street. They're going down High Street and they're visiting the shops and the restaurants and they're spending money. So it's a really great way to make the city shine and also bring in some extra economic activity in the city. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to Matt to talk about Wall Street Mural Festival 3, which is going to be, I think it's fair to say, bigger and better than ever.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So now we're gearing up for Wall Street Mural Festival 3. You'll see here in a little bit, the artist call is actually going to go out next week. So we're really excited for that. Go back one slide, please. What we're calling this is Portsmouth Art Week. Okay, it's in addition to Wall Street Mural Festival. So we're going to start off Portsmouth Art Week on May 2nd. We're going to do a art walk tour or art crawl, however you want to call it. But basically, we're going to start at Old Town Coffee, and it will end at Cure Coffee Shop. So we'll cover the full spectrum of High Street. We're going to include small businesses on High Street that we will take the folks who attend the artist crawl and go to each shop, and we'll highlight an artist that will be featured at that said location. So far we have, I know we have the art store lined up. We have the general store on the books for it. We're going to do a beer garden. Where else? We're also going to be at beer garden. All Saints. Thank you very much. Yep. And so there's about 8 locations that we have planned so far along High Street that will be doing these this art crawl. We'll end it at Cure, and we're gonna work on putting together a fun event at Cure. So after the art crawl, you can hang out and maybe meet some of the artists and chat and have a good time there. We're also going to bring back our offsite gallery. We're going to also include Old Town Coffee Shop for that one as well. So that's going to be a month-long exhibition prior to the festival and prior to Art Week, so we can start building the buzz and have people start talking about Mural Festival. The 2 coffee shops are going to run promotion, especially coffees and drinks kind of geared toward art. And we'll have local and national artists again participate in both those exhibitions. So we're really excited to have those again. High school art lectures. This was really successful last year when we did it. I think we had from each school probably about 200 students in total between the 3 schools that attended these high school lectures. And so we're working on getting our artists lined up for that. It'll be 3 artists for each school, of course. And we'll do that the week of Mural Festival as well. So once again, building the buzz for the big day of the festival. And then I think this is really important because, we have all these young folks that are interested in the arts, and being able to see professional artists working and they'll get the knowledge from these folks who do this on a professional, to support their livelihood. So they'll have information on, the business aspect of art as long as, the creative, as well as the creative aspect of doing these murals. We're also going to do an art demonstration night. So that will be Wednesday evening at Portsmouth Army Navy. We're going to partner with a group called 757 Create. It's a network, community network of artists, of about 250 artists from all over Hampton Roads. And essentially what this group is going to do is we'll show the folks that attend the different methodologies of actually doing a mural. So there's actually, you can freehand a mural. You can do a grid method where you strategically literally put a grid on the wall and then paint each square that way. And there's also like a doodle method. And so we'll go through those different methods of how to paint murals. To do that. With this technology now, they have the Oculus sets where you can actually like see it virtually. So you can put the headset on and then look at the wall and then apply the murals to the wall, and then you literally paint it with the paintbrush there. So we're gonna work on getting one of those headsets to do that as well. And then of course the night before the festival, we're gonna do something called Wall Street at Night. And so this is kind of a premiere exclusive event. We'll sell tickets for it, but basically it'll be the night before. People can come see what's going on the night before the festival, meet and greet the artists. It's basically a kickoff party. We're going to have Better by Tuesday there performing. Joe, I'm not sure if you heard about that yet or not, but we'll have Better by Tuesday performing there, and we'll have food and drinks and all that good stuff. So it'll be a good time. And so we're actually going to do this instead of doing, we did an after party last year. And I got to tell you, we were worn out like after the festival last year. So we're going to do a pre-party kickoff this year, sell tickets online and have people come out, have a good time, and just be a preliminary thing to the festival. And that will be in the alleyway. Next slide, please. And then the big event, Saturday, May 9th this year, once again, Mother's Day weekend. We will launch 10 new murals. We will bring back our breaking competition, the break dancing, which everyone loved the last 2 years. We will bring back the pop-up skate park. We will partner with Hard Time Skate Shop, our local skate park, skate shop here in Portsmouth again, and they will run that skate competition for us. We're going to bring back the fashion show this year. Everyone loved the fashion show last year. I don't know if y'all were able to see that, but they literally, the theme of the fashion models, they all dress as different artist styles. And so you had someone that had she was walking with a frame, and then she had clocks that were melting off her head and her clothes, and it was just fantastic what they were able to do with the fashion show. Along with the fashion show and in our fashion district, we'll actually have a nail competition as well. So I know folks like to get really fancy with the nails, so you'll actually be able to see some really cool nails being painted there. I think we're gonna expand on the vendors this year and bring more vendors down towards where the skate park was to really fill up the space some more. So we'll have more vendors this year. Of course, food trucks again. Something new, we'll have festival merch. For the last 2 years, we haven't had any merchandise that we actually sold. So we'll get some t-shirts this year, some hats. We'll have stickers and all that good stuff. And then more games and more fun things to do. So as I said earlier, the call opens up January 26th. That's next Monday. And this is our new flyer design for this year. The official flyer will come out soon. But I do want to highlight, we had an incredible graphic designer join our board this year. And she put together this new updated logo for us, Wall Street Mural Festival 3. It looks like a sticker, so I can't wait to actually get stickers made of these things so we can pass them out to people and all that good stuff. But yeah, 10 murals, 10 walls. 10
And as you can see, what we have in our logo here, we have the bull and the bear, right?
Yes.
It's like you see on Wall Street in New York. So that's kind of the inspiration for that.
Yes.
And what I love about all the different activities Matt just went through, this is not just about visual art, although that's kind of the primary focus point. There is literally something for everybody throughout this event for people to enjoy. So we're really intentional about trying to make it appealing to everyone, again, whether different ages, different backgrounds, whatever. There's going to be something for you here that you're going to enjoy.
Yes. And family friendly, of course.
Yes. Yes.
We'll have paint by numbers for kids and adults. If you want to get creative, you can hop in on that too. I do want to highlight this. So last year, I don't know if y'all were able to see the beer can that we had. We partnered with Momac Brewery in Portsmouth. This year, we plan to do that partnership again. And this is our new can design, beer can design. So it says Wall Street Murals IPA with our logo and everything else on it. So of course, sponsorship with Portsmouth Economic Development Authority. As long as we get your vote today, we'd love to have your support there. And then obviously we would highlight you on all of our merchandise and everything else. And then the next slide, we'll start getting into basically the investment costs for the festival. So between the art lectures, the art crawl, the pre-party event, the mural demonstrations, and all the other activities that we'll be doing. The total cost for the festival this year is going to be around $45,000. And once again, that's all just through the work that we do throughout the year, fundraising through SVPA, our Saturday art market events, our yard sales that we do, reselling art and other items, collectibles. And then yeah, so this is our total investment for this year so far that we plan on putting together.
And also important to note, a few of the events we were going to have ticket sales, but the signature event, the Mural Festival itself on Saturday, the 9th, is completely free for anybody to attend. So we don't charge people to attend that.
That's right. So thank you for mentioning that, because yes, everything is free except for the kickoff party, which we said we want that to be kind of more of an exclusive event there. So all the activities that we do are free and open to the public. All right, next slide. Okay, and so our ask for EDA is going to be our co-sponsor. $22,625 is what we're requesting. Of course, it'll be added to all of our promotional material, merchandise, websites, and everything else, banners, and our sponsor wall. We'll see what we can do with our sponsor wall this year, because I know we have the demolition project going up, so that wall will actually be coming down. But we might be able to get some other creative things going to have a sponsor wall, but certainly we'll have banners with all of our sponsors up there. And then the important piece outside of just community development and bringing people out to have a good time enjoying these murals is just the economic stimulation that mural festivals and this type of event brings to the community and to our city as well. And so I think, having you all partner with us and really showing that, you want to put your money into the investment, not only to the community, but to drive economic stimulation, particularly with our Link Innovation District, which everyone's really excited about. I think that means a lot, and it means a lot to have economic development's name behind the festival. So of course, like I said, art placemaking, education, and outreach, as we walk up and down High Street, partnering with all the businesses this year. Community pride, everyone walks down to see the murals and has pride. We have people coming in, taking photography and doing music videos and everything else down the alleyway now. It's pretty crazy. And then the economic stimulation that we'll see from the cultural impact, but along with our financial investment into the area. Other things that we want to consider, once again, the demolition that's going on in that location. So a lot of those buildings will be coming down. I believe last time I talked to Brian, we're looking at 90-day time frame. Is that Julie, something like that?
Yeah.
Okay, so it'll be close to our festival date. So we just want to make sure we keep an eye on that demolition process and if there's any impact to our festival location. In an ideal state, everything will be cleared out and ready to go. And maybe we could get some storage containers out there that we could paint and use that new space as a spot for our food trucks or something like that. But that way it just opens up things a little more, and we won't have to have these so cramped in the festival this year. Alleyway lighting, that's another thing we had talked about doing, was adding string lights down the alleyway. And I know EDA has the building now. I think the only thing we're working on is getting approvals for all the building owners in the alleyway to actually get the lights down there. So that's something else I want to make sure we take in consideration, because the lights would be obviously beneficial for the kickoff party. As it goes into the evening, we have lights down the alleyway. And of course, it would also support public safety for when we're not actually down there for the festival. So just having lights in the alleyway would really bring it to life and keep everyone safe. And then metrics and tech. So, we gave some roundabout numbers for how many attendees we had to 2,200. As Gene said, we think that was conservative. But moving forward, I know like with the High Street Fest that we just had, they were able to use the mobile cell phone device locator to really get an accurate number festival site at that time. And so we want to be able to utilize that some of those same technologies to make sure that we're getting the right metrics and that we can bring back to you all like, hey, this is our real impact on the community, how successful the festival was. And you know, to really show how much drive and traffic that we got from the festival. So I'm not sure if that's something we would need to work through economic development with, or if that's something we can just talk with Portsmouth partnership to utilize that technology they had. So
That's with the, city marketing team.
city marketing team. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, I will stop there for questions. But that basically wraps up our presentation for Wall Street Mirror Festival. Yes.
Last year, we had, when you came before you sort of indicated you try to, get additional corporate sponsorship of the event. Have you pursued that, and what has been your success been?
Yeah, we get a lot of sponsorships. I can't say that we get a lot of corporate sponsorships. One of the big sponsorships that helped out a lot was with the paint store. They supplied a lot of the artist paint materials that we needed for the festival, so that was a big help. But as far as another large corporate sponsor, we have not yet received a financial commitment yet, but we will continue to reach out to those folks. We did get a sponsorship from like Rivers Casino. That was a big help.
Yeah, so last year we did get, we got several, sponsorships from local businesses as well as local residents who just wanted to donate and in-kind donations, for businesses who donated material to different things. Nothing of the scale of the ask that we're putting before you guys today, but there are a lot of other organizations and individuals who do make a donation to help support the event. And we will continue to push for that this year as well. Absolutely. Yeah.
We're excited. We certainly are committed to this. You'll just give us a little time, either at this meeting or next day or so. That you know what the about will be.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Another question. Don't know how this would possibly work for this year. I would love what happened for this year. Is there a way, there's a construction fence that is currently on the site of King's Landing, King's Landing condominiums across the street from Matt Street. Is there a possible way to make some like portable art to line that fence? I'm not sure that would be through EDA or through SPPA. Just to kind of make that area more appealing and leading up to the festival, kind of like a moment we could have.
Yeah, so last year we actually did some portable artwork. It was actually in support of our Queens on Queen Street project that we were doing. And while we were waiting to hang those up, we had them at the festival site. That's something we can talk with SVPA about to see if we could bring out those panel boards again. They're for about 8 sheets and you can put them together. And then we could certainly look into lining the fence line with something like that. I'm not sure if the construction company would allow us to hang something on the fence, but that's another option we could maybe take in consideration. Because I actually had another idea. We have a billboard from another artist. She got into one of the billboard art programs and she said that we could hang her whole billboard across the building, but that's a pretty large one. So I'm not sure if the fence would actually support that or not, but that's something we can certainly look into. That's a good idea, John.
That's a fantastic idea. I've seen that done in other places and it really, it turns what's otherwise kind of a unattractive construction site into kind of a really bright, enjoyable place that people like to go by. So that's a great idea.
That's why it goes on the board.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. Very good.
I attended the Washington Festival and it was wonderful. So I'm really excited that you've expanded the footprint of it. My question is, when I travel a lot, I see that has become a theme in a lot of cities of having murals all over the city. And even when you go to other cities, they have actual bus tours taking you to the different murals and telling you the history. A lot of them, like the one I went to in Houston last month, all the murals were about the history of the city. And they actually, it was really, really interesting. My question is, do you all look for also permanent places for murals that could be incorporated into the city's marketing? Do you all go that far into do you have any permanent I know you have few, I think you said permanent, but did you go after that too as well?
Yeah, so a lot of the murals that we've put up or the paintings we've put up, artwork we've put up over the past 16 years are permanent, and they've been there for quite a long time. To your point about the bus tours, and we've looked at and we put together kind of a list of where all the different installations are in the city. But I think we have some more work to do to kind of get that out there to say, hey, this is where you go to see X or Y or Z. So that's your point is very well taken. But yeah, a lot of what we put up is permanent. Some of it by its nature, maybe not. I don't know if you want to add anything, Matt, but yeah.
We have a lot of permanent murals and we do have a lot of historical murals too.
Yes.
That highlight history, and we're actually going to have a new one coming up soon. We'll announce that later. I think we're spot on as far as like getting people to those different sites. I think I know we have the new cruise lineup. They come off, and I think there's an opportunity there to do like art walks from those people who are on the cruise ship. You know, so I think the art walk that we're going to do here will be a trial run for how we could actually implement that in the future too. Yeah.
You're right. A couple of years ago, there was two gentlemen who were running, they called it the Bike Art Tour, where they would take people on bicycles and bring them between the various SPPA permanent art installations that were within a reasonable radius. COVID killed that and wanted to move out of the area, but there were enough people coming, 6, 7 people per month. They did it once a month. People did have an interest in it, and there was talk about maybe making it a golf cart tour, doing something more for mobility challenge people, but you know, the seed of the idea is has proved that it is something that people are interested in.
Mm-hmm. And they do it in real quick. They do it in the Neon District in Norfolk too. They have you just put it on an Eventbrite and say, hey, if you want to sign up, you sign up, and then there's a guided tour. Someone will take you down, and you can see all the murals that they'll do there. Yeah.
We do have a city walking tour on this city website under the tourism.
Sorry.
To a short walking tour for the things right downtown. And we do historical things, the Rosencrantz School, we've got a mural out there. And our project this year, with Virginia 250 will be Richard Dale. We've got the Commodore and a lot of historical things also.
Thank you.
There's one more question real quick.
Peter Glagol, marketing for Portsmouth. We are looking at apps right now, especially for the cruise boat, so that you could download the app and it uses GPS so it can take you to all the murals. We're looking at that also for the history walk. So just to make it, self-guided tour for the cruise line, but then we can use it for.
That's awesome.
That's coming as well. So
one more comment. Peter, I want to say thank you. Your team did a fantastic job with the medium and everything like the last 2 years. If you go on YouTube, you can see they're about 5 minutes long. Wall Street Mirror Festival 1 and Wall Street Mirror Festival 2. It's a recap video with a couple of artist interviews and just a recap of the whole festival. They look fantastic.
We'll get coveralls this year.
We can get coveralls this year. All right. Any more questions? I think that's it.
Thank you so much, and we'll get back with you on the funding request.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Carl, you want to talk about the water fund?
Yeah, in Brian's absence, I'm sure he was going to mention, the two upcoming community engagement, sessions to address, Crawford Bay opportunity. You've got a copy of this at your desk, and there's plenty of copies up here. Folks, please take them and distribute them, but, we're inviting everybody and anybody to come and share their input, through a, discussion on what Crawford Bay could look like and what opportunities are out there for the city of Portsmouth. Tell your friends.
No questions. We'll move into Julie's going to give us an update on the Lake District.
Good morning, commissioners and audience. I will first provide an update on the 1028 High Street, 1013 Queen Street, and 1015 Queen Street demolition. The bids closed, as I reported last month on December, I think, I can't remember exactly which date, but they closed, and the lowest and most responsive bidder was Bernardo Building. And the procurement office has vetted this company, and we are, the award has been signed off by all of the necessary city departments, and we should be posting, or procurement should be posting the notice of award this week. And then from there, we will be working with the contractor to finalize the contract, and hopefully, work on getting the building permit so we can have these buildings demolished well before the Wall Street Festival. We did have a bit of an issue with the contractor that was selected to cap the water and sewer. They have had some unanticipated workforce availability issues, so they're no longer able to complete the capping of the water and sewer. So we will be contacting another plumbing company to hopefully get that squared away, so that we can proceed with obtaining the building permit and the subsequent demolition.
What's your best estimate as to when it will be completed?
The demolition,
Yes.
I would say within 90 days. I believe that is an accurate assessment that is achievable. Any other questions?
That's 90 days from today, or?
Yes. 90 days. Good. Okay, for the next update, 1117 and 1121 High Street. The bids for the renovation and roof replacement for these two buildings closed on December 30th. And the bids were read on December 31st. The procurement is currently vetting these, the bids that were received. 4 companies responded to the solicitation, and the amount ranged from $900,560 to $946,740. And we will need the EDA to vote on this item. And we are recommending that the EDA vote to initiate notice of award and contract negotiations to the lowest responsive and responsible bidder, not to exceed $946,740. So this gives us some, in case there's an issue with the lowest bidder, we can move to the next lowest bidder and not have to come before the commission as well. So we're keeping it a little bit more general than we did for 1028 High Street.
Wait, can you repeat that again? What is the motion? Do you have the motion?
The motion is to initiate the notice of intent to award and contract negotiations with signatory authority to the EDA chair for the lowest responsive and responsible bidder, not to exceed $946,740. Do you want me to, here, you can read it from my page. Would that help?
I move what you just said.
Okay, that works, right?
Second.
Charlie?
Yeah, excuse me. Right, that's another story. Um, Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Carver,
Yeah.
Saunders Smith,
Yeah.
Ms. Chair is, Ms. Harple, Road,
Yes.
Mr. Harmon,
Yes.
Mr. Morgan. Yes.
Julie, if I recall correctly, DHCD was, possibly going to, provide a grant for approximately half of that amount. Is that correct? And have you heard any status from DHCD?
No, but I believe that they typically will announce that in January and February, so it should be coming soon, whether that grant was, whether we were awarded that grant.
Hey, Julie, quick question. I'm not sure if you know the answer to this question, but I know we were supposed to be painting some murals on this building too. I'm not sure which part of the building though. So, do you know if that's something that's still on the
Yeah.
table for us?
So with the renovations that are proposed, there's roof replacement on both the 1117 and 1121 buildings, and then there are facade improvements, but it won't impact the ability to place murals on those.
Okay, thanks.
Will you have what those will be prior to them being?
We would, yes.
Okay. Okay.
I think it would be helpful if we could have it, reflect a little bit about the Lake District. The history of it, if you guys can give me some research, maybe we get something here to kind of generate some ideas. Okay. And on 1028, once the demolition is done, would that be another viable spot for the Portsmouth lines?
So there has been talks about what to do with that space once the buildings are demolished. They are demolishing them to the slabs, so the slabs will remain. And there's, been talks about like making it into a park. And so I believe that it would be available.
I'm just curious if there would be any short-term opportunity, but that's something we can take a look at.
Yeah.
I think we were open to partnering with you all on maybe getting some storage containers out there and, we could do some artwork on the storage containers and, we had talked about some of the planters from the jail site as well.
I think that kind of built.
Yeah, I think we did look into that, and it proved to be not a viable option.
Okay.
I was wondering if it might be a good spot for putting your food truck.
Yes, that would be a great spot.
Kind of expand that area because it was kind of tight.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, so certainly something we can look at and see if it's feasible.
Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, the next property update I have for you is 1220 High Street. I do not have a lot to update on this particular project. The bid package for the renovation, the facade improvements, and the roof replacement for this structure is currently with procurement, and I am hopeful that the package will be posted by this Friday. So I'm going to work to have that so we can facilitate the work that needs to be done on 1220 High Street. Oh, any questions? Okay, for 934 High Street, we have consulted with several architecture and engineering firms to provide a proposal for construction documents and a structural report on this building to see what changes would be necessary or they recommend in order to prepare the building for marketing. And we are also awaiting a few electrician contractors to provide a proposal for installing an outlet in the rear of the building to facilitate the lights that that were discussed for the Wall Street Festival. And any questions on 934 High Street?
The engineer's proposal that you mentioned, will that have to go through procurement, or can you use an existing contract?
We've reached out to at least two engineering firms that the city does have an annual services contract, so we're hoping to go that route. For 817 and through 833 High Street, the proposal for the phase 1 environmental site assessment has been executed. So I will have the results of that report for you at our February meeting. And any questions on this project?
It's exciting. That's a great piece of property for us to acquire. A lot of opportunities.
All right, that's
I have
sure.
Could you go back one slide?
Yeah.
Is there any opportunity to acquire the building there on the corner? I can't see the address. I know it's owned.
This one?
Yes.
Is there any
Is there any opportunity to acquire?
We, to my knowledge, we have attempted several times. And there, it doesn't appear that the owner is interested, but that is an interest of the EDAs.
Okay, just curious. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. It's not tolerated. Yes.
All right, where we are now.
Just a brief comment before we get into the presentation. We are required to keep the conversation to those who are on the board. So I just wanted to let everybody know we've kind of broken that rule a little bit. Every potential fall. I'm so proud.
All right, good morning, everyone. Peter Glagola, Director of Marketing and Communication for the City of Portsmouth. I'm here to give a brief update. I can send everybody these links today so we can look at it because I know there's a lot going on. But since we last met, we have created the link logo and a brand guideline. In this, it talks about the colors, the energy, Lincolnville, and what we're trying to achieve with this area. So, you know, we're basing all this now on the 2030 study. SRI also did a community study. Over 2,200 people answered that community study. So we're basing a lot of our decisions right now on history and what we learned from the input of our citizens. Of the 2,200, 1,600 of those participants were from the city of Portsmouth. And this was a 44-question survey that they filled out online. So it's great data that we have. So we have a brand guide. Let's go to that next presentation real quick. Again, it talks all about what the link is. So this is the logo right now: launch, innovate, network, create. Energetic colors to create the energy around the space. The other presentation. I had this on my laptop this morning, but again, you know, a couple things that we're talking about right now that I was listening to today. You know, we need to bring the murals into this website as well. We have launched the website. We are adding additional information right now. you got to go to the link piece. Just go down. It's a lot. We meet with Economic Development monthly. This is our report. Right, link right here. So back up one. So we have launched the site. Click the link. District.com is our site. You go to the website that is live right now. Okay, it may be blocked. I'll send you everyone the link, but it is live, and we are going to be adding new photographs, videos, a lot of other things that we're listening here today as well. So, oh, okay, just scroll. So, thank you. Just scroll down a little bit. So it starts here. We're ready to launch. We're going to be working with Julie to make sure that all of these properties are included on this so we can see how things are transforming. Up a little bit more. Again, roots of innovation. Lincolnville placard is by the Emmanuel Church. It is already there. So that will be included in this as well. Keep going, just keep going up. So again, it just talks about this district, what we're trying to create, and we're going to be adding more pictures. We're going to start a media campaign with economic development. It will be social, probably some potentially radio in different markets, but also here because we need everyone needs to know about this district and what we are trying to achieve. I'm looking, if you're coming down High Street, you have 164. It's a nice brick overpass right there. We're looking at putting the logos right there on that side so you know that you're entering the district. And then coming back from Effingham, again, more signage there that everyone will know that they are in the district. So that's just a quick brief on where we are right now. We're moving forward. That's our charge, is got to get this stuff done. I want to turn this all over to Brian so that he can market this to potential businesses. Questions? And again, I will send you all of this stuff today so that everyone can look through it. I know we're running a little bit low on time, and so we good for now?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thanks. Julie or Brian? Julie is taking this on the raise.
Yes. For the update on the
Hold on for a second.
Reyes grant, oh, sorry.
You have a number of slides to this.
I don't have any, do you want me to wait?
Sorry.
No, I don't have any slides.
Just go ahead and give an update, Julie.
Okay, so we did, receive an update from the engineering department about the RAISE grant, and implementation. A schedule was provided, and we're currently in the design and outreach phase. And a few of the milestones that are listed include the September of this year of notice to proceed is scheduled, and There's a public hearing that's scheduled for August of 2026. Oh wait, that's the past date. And the construction substantial completion and open to traffic scheduled date is March of 2030.
Julie, I thought there was a design charrette scheduled for early February. Is that?
Yes, there is. I believe, Peter, do you want to speak to that?
I just know that one's coming up, that's
Yeah.
all I know about, and so we just have to get it public announcement. Well, not public, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's city council, work session, charrette review on February the 4th, I believe, in the evening.
I think that's the same day that they're doing the waterfront, so.
And we
So it started to be, and then we moved.
That's right, I'm sorry. I apologize, I'm stuck on the old line.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The obvious question, I'm not gonna drill you, because you're not gonna have all the answers, but I will say it's a little later than I probably had anticipated, 2030.
Yeah, I had the same reaction when I saw that. I think that the main milestones for 2026 include a survey and the utility work. They have to do the NEPA assessment. So I think a lot of it looks to me like a lot of these federal requirements take considerable time to complete.
Thank you.
Julie, you might just well stay up there, got a credit.
Oh, I lost my notes, but okay. For Craddock, we did meet with the Craddock president and to discuss the plans for the properties that the EDA owns within the district, which include 53 Afton, 60 Afton Parkway, and 73 Farragut. We discussed our plan for demolishing the building at 53 Afton, and we discussed how these properties have been on the market for almost 2 years and have had very little interest. So we would like to look at consolidating a number of properties in this area for the market for residential development. And the Craddock president did request that to have someone from the EDA or our office to attend their civic league meeting on or in the future, which meets the first Tuesday of the month. So we're planning to attend and brief the entire civic league about the EDA's plans.
The first Tuesday.
I think it's the first Tuesday.
Is there anything that we need to do to authorize the preparation of the demolition plan?
So I'm waiting on receiving that, the proposal from the engineering company to prepare the demolition plan. I wonder, Jeff, can they do a vote on accepting the proposal when we receive it? Or,
Sorry,
oh, sorry.
The question was, is that do we need to take a vote to authorize preparation of the demolition plan? Julie said she had requested a proposal from the engineering firm, and the question was, is it, can we authorize proceeding of that without having a proposal in hand?
It's a city contract.
Is city contract already?
Well, yes.
I think if you view this as sufficient.
I would, move that we authorize the preparation of, a demolition contract for the, property in, what is it, 53 Hampton Parkway? So in preparation for the consolidation of those properties, for marketing.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Barber,
Yes.
Ms. Saunders Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Harple Road,
Yes.
Mr. Harmon.
Yes.
Yes.
Jeff, what do we need to do, if anything, for the transfer of the city-owned property adjacent to the 53 Hampton?
That would have to be a resolution with the council.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
I'll be providing an update on the small business revolving loan. Passing around the flyer. We are holding, the information session for the loan program on January 28th from 1 o'clock to 2:30 p.m. Bridging Virginia, will present on the guidelines for applying for the small business loan program. So if you're interested in attending, you can scan the QR code and register. As of last week, there were about 26 left. So if you want to attend, I would register today. The Bridging Virginia is currently in the process of building the website to be ready for the information session on the 28th, so that applications can go live. And people can apply, as of the 28th. We are working with the marketing department to build a landing page that will reroute to Bridging Virginia's website so that residents and business owners can apply for the loan program. And we are in the very beginning phases, currently creating an agreement with Bridging Virginia so that they can, we can start funneling money to them for the loan program. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to go and new business on the fiscal year 27 budget committee. We're looking for people who are interested in participating in that. I want to volunteer.
I will volunteer.
Okay.
That was reading.
Yeah, 365.
Oh.
Good. Okay, we're gonna go into a closed meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I move to go into closed meeting pursuant to the Virginia Code Section 2.23711. K, 3, for the purpose of discussing acquisition, disposition of real property where discussion in an open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body, specifically regarding the acquisition and the disposition of 809 High Street and 219 Pavilion Drive.
We can add discussion. So I would add the motion pursuant to Virginia Code subsection 2.23711 phase 6 for discussion or consideration of the investment of public funds for competition or bargaining involved where it may public initially financial interest in government.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Barber,
Yes.
Ms. Saunders Smith,
Yeah.
Ms. Harry. Excuse me. Ms. Harple Road,
Yes.
Mr. Harmon.
Yes.
All that.
Mr. Chairman, I move that each commissioner certify to the best of his or her knowledge that only public, business matters lawfully exempted from meeting Freedom of Information Act and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which the closed meeting was convened or heard, discussed, or considered in closed meeting just conducted. Terms concluded.
Second.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Barber,
Aye.
Ms. Saunders Smith,
Yes.
Purple Road,
Yes.
Mr. Harmon,
Yes.
Mr. Morgan.
Yes. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to add two items to our agenda. One being under, the open meeting section would be 219 Pavilion Drive, and the other one would be the Wall Street Mineral Festival.
Second.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes. This is for both of those together? Okay.
Mr. Barber,
Aye.
Ms. Saunders Smith,
Yes.
Road,
Yes.
Mr. Harmon,
Yes.
Mr. Morgan.
Yes. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to move that the existing option agreement that we have with the property owner.
Yeah, I think it would be an extension of the feasibility period of the existing agreement, through February. Should be through next week,
Or February.
March.
Date of our March meeting. Correct.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Barber,
Yeah.
Ms. Saunders Smith, Ms. Purple Road,
Yes.
Mr. Harmon,
Yes.
Mr. Morgan.
Yes. Mr. Chairman, I would move that we appropriate $22,500 for the.
I think it's 6:25.
625, okay. 625 for this year's.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Barber,
Aye.
Ms. Saunders Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Purple Road,
Yes.
Mr. Harmon,
Yes.
Mr. Morgan.
Yes.
Report backs. Have any? Are there any report backs?
So,
Items submitted by board members? Being none? I will conclude this meeting. It's officially over. Thank you for your attendance.